Mr. Olaolu Ajose. Good afternoon, sir. Thank you for squeezing out time. I can imagine that it's part of your busy schedule. You see, could make our time to join us.
No problem at all. I'm very passionate.
Okay, Mr. Ajose is sorry, my Yoruba is not so good, so I'm making some blunders here and there. Mr. Olaolu is head of engineering at Chaka. Once again, thank you, sir, for joining us. So, without wasting much of our time, I would like to introduce some of the devs here present, a very short video. And I would like Mr. Josh to help us with that. Mr. Josh, please help us with the videos. Mr. Josh, can you hear me?
I'm a language engineer and I have great passion for language. I started doing my career in university when I was asked to build an language application for the first time. And since then, I knew I was going to be an engineer. Technology has made the world better through bright minds who have used their passion for technology to create programs that help people. I aim to be one of such bright minds. I aim to be able to create language applications that will help. I'm going to be a highly organized, people-oriented thinker. I make sure that the tasks that I do, the tasks that I do, are done to high quality standards. Because I believe in the saying that whatever your hand finds to do it. When I'm not programming, I love to play games. I also love to make. Thank you.
Hi, my name is David Olumna. I graduated from the Federal University of Technology, Akure, where I bagged a bachelor degree in industrial chemistry. I am a full-stack developer. I'm passionate about what I do. I use .NET framework to build backend services and React to build great user interface interaction. I am a deep thinker and love to solve problems. When I am not programming, I love watching mind-stimulating movies and playing football. Nice to meet you. Thank you.
Hello, good day. My name is Diana Ikweri, a graduate of petroleum engineering from Niger Delta University. I've always been intrigued about software engineering, and after my service here, I started my journey towards becoming a software engineer by learning JavaScript. I'm currently a .NET developer who is wholly committed to building software applications in the most ingenious and structured manner possible. I'm a fast learner, a highly motivated individual, and an active team player. And I love the fact that I'm gradually living my dreams. To get unstuck and relieve stress, I play games and listen to music. Thank you so much for your time, and do have a good day.
Hi, my name is Emeka Ukoma, and I graduated from the University of Port Harcourt with a bachelor's degree in mathematics and statistics. I fell in love with programming when I first heard about the story of Philip Emeagwali and what he had achieved in the field of programming and computer science in general. And I was inspired, and this inspiration led me to where I am today. And I'm excited to say that I am a Java developer as a result. When I'm not programming or learning new technology, I find myself playing football or watching football. And I'm excited about this programming career and where it's taking me to. And it's nice meeting you.
Hi, my name is Shogun Singh, a software developer at Chaka, an Android developer. I have a BSc in computer science from Federal University of Agriculture. I'm passionate about products and people. I've always been curious about computers and computer programs since I was a kid. I derive satisfaction from solving problems. What I mean is, I want the things I build to actually help people. I'm a very creative person. I'm a team player. I enjoy working with other people. I take ownership of any project I'm involved in because I believe whatever I work on is an extension of who I am. I'm passionate about good user experience. I like to play the piano or write whenever I'm working. It is nice to meet you.
Hi, my name is Hope Mori. I am an Android engineer. So I have my bachelor's degree in microbiology, University of Benin. What I want to say first is my love for logistics. So I like travel. I like to open up new ground, travel, and also being part of the community where we first solution to problems using tech-driven ideas. I also have a very critical mind. I like to reason things that are critical in defining or provide solutions to situations. Personally, I believe that as a team player, we can achieve a whole lot together than we ever have done as an individual. And our intellect also, I have the opinion that our intellect should be towards making life better for people. And then part of my hobbies, I like to, I like to read. I like to read mostly sci-fi books. Some of my best authors are Kaku, music researching, and I also love music. There is like classical that. So we check anything that. Okay. Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Josh, for those video clips. Yeah, so once again, I welcome everyone to the meeting. Okay, so without any, any further, any more of those videos, I'll just go straight to our curriculum for today. So, sir, once again, welcome you. So I'm throwing some questions at you.
That's fine.
So, yes. So first of all, I'd like. Yeah. So first of all, I'd like to know. I would like to meet you, sir. Who's Mr. Olaolu? I mean, apart from you are head of engineering at Chaka. So what else about you, sir? Like, we'd like to meet you.
Okay, so I like to actually call myself a chemistry teacher.
Okay.
Because I still do that very much, but basically summer school we teach kids how to create robots, something I'm very passionate about. I also have quite a number of experience, like 10 years now plus in this space. Some of my experience will span across the financial, investment, even entertainment. You were surprised that I did work in the entertainment industry at some point. So it's been a lot of experiential journey for me, but also very rewarding and fulfilling at the same time.
Oh, okay. Well, that's great. I mean, I was surprised when I heard the entertainment part. Like, I was really surprised. Okay, that's good to know. I don't know. Would you want to like throw more light on that entertainment? You maybe sing an instrument?
Yeah, I play music because I'm a lot of music. I play the bass and the guitar over there, but
okay, yeah,
I
I can
also
see it.
family of musicians and all that kind of stuff. So I have a lot of deep connection to the music, and also there is a music school that I learned to play from that I'm still very connected to. They are great instrumentalists and also musicians right there. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that's really great. I mean, there's something about engineers and music. I also play the piano, and I know a lot of my colleagues who are also like music people. So that's
awesome.
Great, sir. Thank you, sir. Okay. So I would like to ask. We see that you currently work with Chaka, so we'd like to know, like, what do you guys do at Chaka, and what's work in Chaka really about? And then as the head of engineering at Chaka, what is it about generally?
Okay, so for me, while watching the videos, I heard some people mention stacks. So that was quite interesting. I have worked with quite a number of other stacks. Oh, can you hear me? I work with the .NET, I work with Java, I work with PHP, work with SQL, all manner of SQL. So developers should feel connected, feel free to shoot questions at me. And at Chaka, we enable both individuals and businesses, allow them to invest into the global market. So imagine if you are a fintech or a bank or you're an investment house, and you're looking to get tools or enablement, you can come with Chaka. We build a lot of custom. Everything in Chaka is built from the ground up. We don't outsource stuff. So that's to tell you how hands-on we are at Chaka, and also how very thorough. We've built for quite a number of investment houses and have quite a number of partnerships. So that's pretty much what Chaka is about, both global and local. So it's not just foreign investments. We also have locals. Then my role is to just it as I'm responsible for the face of what you see. So if something goes down, just know that I'm responsible. And I don't build everything. We have super team, right? But in terms of the health of the infrastructure, the quality, how compliant we are, how secure we are, and how we scale across the globe. So that's what I'm responsible for. And we do have no doubt super team members from our backends to front end to compliance to ops. So we have fantastic and lively people at Chaka. So that's just the top level demographics of what Chaka is about.
Oh, okay. Well, that's great to know. So, thank you very much for that. Also, okay, can you hear me? Okay. Yeah, sorry, my network is a bit unstable. Okay. So, also, we would like to know, sir, so what are the main responsibilities? I mean, between being a junior engineer and now, becoming senior engineer to even head of engineering. I mean, what are what's the transition like for you, and how is it like to be a senior engineer at such a prestigious company?
It's been quite a journey, I won't lie. It's had from the ups and downs, so it's not been all upward a trajectory, even though I can argue that it took me shorter time between when I started and when I became a senior engineer. But I would say that quite a number of things. I think I wrote some things down for people here because I know you might ask quite a number of questions. For every junior engineer, have a growth plan. Be very, very deliberate. Don't start something without having a very clear definition of success, and also have how the duration. So I have a lot of engineers that will just, what are you doing? I'm learning .NET. But nobody talks about how long do you want to learn it for and what a success looks like. So for all junior engineers, you need to have that in your mind. What a success looks like for me and how long do I want to learn this for. Can I carry on, or am I too fast?
Okay, yes, sir. Yes, sir, you can.
Okay. Then be very open-minded. I've seen a lot of junior engineers that say, I'm a back-end, I'm a front-end, things that you have no idea of yet. So I'd say be very flexible, allow your either supervisor or your lead to discover you, except you are able to discover yourself. There are things that I enjoy right now that I wouldn't have guessed that I was doing. All my life, I wanted to just stay in either artificial intelligence or robotics. But right now, you can see me in the software space, waxing strong. Even in finance, I've tried to run away from the finance space so many times, but for some reasons, I find myself back there. So I'll say be very flexible, be open. Along the way, the path will be clearer to you. Then also, don't forget, if you'll be heading or leading people, it's very good to have a taste of what they're doing, because that's the only way you can command respect. When people know that this is our boss, if the push comes to shove, he's going to show us how to do it. So if you're just one-sided, you might not have that benefit of doubt to show people. So be very, very flexible and open. Then I would say have financial goal. As silly as that seems, I know a lot of people don't think of finances when you just start as a junior engineer, but don't forget you'll be probably buying some courses, you'll be buying tools, right, along the way. Probably you need a MacBook or you need a high-end computer. Invest in yourself. So the only way you can invest in yourself is if you have financial goals set aside for your own personal development. So that's very important. Then also, good things takes time. Good things take time. I've seen people who, from the very first week of studying the code, how do I create Super Mario? you just want to start creating something big. No, Give it time. Give it time. Learn. And don't forget, I already mentioned you are deliberate about your learning and you are giving it time. Nobody will plant something in a particular place, then remove it tomorrow, plant somewhere else, and you are very anxious to have it grow. Things don't work that way. You need to let them stay, allow natural course to happen, give your very best to it. And that's the only way you can flourish. And by that, I mean, as in junior engineers, every other time you are changing job, you've left here 2 months, you've joined this place 3 months, with plenty, you can't grow that way, right? Because you need to stay and learn.
Wow.
I can understand if you have an unfavorable boss or environment and you are changing because of that. But don't change because 50,000 on top of your salary or jump because they're enticing you. You'll be shortchanging yourself in the long run. So I encourage you junior engineers to stay in a place and grow. Minimum, I encourage you to stay 2 years. Minimum, except the place is toxic. The minimum, stay 2 years. So
Wow.
I'll just give 2 more and you can carry on with the questions. Because I just want this to, because a lot of people see the story and think, you just wound up being the head of engineering. No, it was actually very deliberate and systematic process that I actually journeyed through. And today I'm super happy I did. So take care of your health. You can't take care of complex system if you are not taking care of yourself. Eat when you're supposed to eat. Don't gulp too much of soda. That's bad for your health. Eat balanced diet, rest. People don't even see the correlation between proper rest and quality code, right? You need to make sure you take care of your health because don't forget, your brain is your tool, as one of your tools. Yeah. And if your brain is not in a good condition, you create a lot of bugs. Yeah, I'll just stop there. Probably another time I'll be able to expound some more specifics.
That's really informative. I mean, that was a lot. Take care of your health, have financial goals, invest in yourself, and somebody said about time to like be able to stay in a place for a while so you can grow and all that. Wow. Well, that's a lot. Thank you very much for this. I mean, I used to have like confusion in that regard, like how long should we really spend in one place and all that. And yeah, I think that's some clarifications I just got. Thank you very much for that. Okay, so I want to ask, so what mistakes would you say you made that you probably, if you knew better, you probably have avoided? Okay, I guess if I was to rephrase the question, I beg your pardon, I would say if you were to write a letter to your younger self as, let's say, a junior dev, how would it go? What would you advise yourself?
I would say that was the mindset I actually came to this Fireside Chat. I'm assuming I'm talking to my younger self. And
okay.
Sometimes I feel very emotional about it because I know the path wasn't very clear for me at the start. It wasn't the start rosy. So I would say to my younger self, pay the price early enough, right? Because some things that you run away from will haunt you all your life, right? So if I was speaking to my younger self, pay the price on time, burn the night candles. Although I can't argue that I didn't burn a lot of candles, but if I was more deliberate and time conscious of how I was learning and growing, I think I would have actually gone very far. So I have a lot of people right now. What are you doing? I'm doing front end. I'm doing back end. To what end? Or what exactly are you wounding towards? So it must be very clear. It must be very clear what you will be like in 4 or 5 years, and you shouldn't be surprised. So what I would encourage you to do is if you want to be a full stack engineer or you want to learn about a particular technology, you can look at what the top requirements, either from a JD or from a course. So, and follow that, be sure you're very thorough. Put it this way, if you were to be put side by side with any engineer in that particular field across the globe for your level, would you excel? Will you outshine? If no, then you have a lot of work to do. So I was looking at the local context of the company. So more like I outsourced my development to my company. So if there's something I don't learn from the company, I don't see the need to learn it. Until I said to myself, wow, wait a minute, I could just have limited my growth to this particular company. So I'm saying to my young self, you need to own your growth. No, it's not the HR's responsibility. It's not the company's responsibility to develop you. It's your responsibility. And once you know it's your responsibility, you will not be angry if nobody develops you, right? So aside from whatever good companies like Chaka would create enabling environment and people are able to train and learn from each other, I'm saying by yourself, without anybody, you need to have those very strict goals and measures to grow. So I'll say that to myself. Then you start investing on time. I didn't realize that open to investment, just save up this money and inflation will just erode everything. So start investing, be very inquisitive or interested in what can you do aside increasing your income, because don't forget, you can only increase your income for so much. So let's say you're a rock star junior engineer, they're paying you X amount. You can't be talking to your employee to pay you every employer to increase your salary every month. So you have to find a way to leverage. One way to leverage is be open to equity options. Some companies, some people don't believe in equity. Junior engineers don't believe in equity. They believe in what enters their pocket and that's it. So try to find out if the company you're working for have a trajectory, and if they do, what's your cut in that whole grand scheme. And if they say, oh, this is what your cut looks like, stay the course, right? If you don't stay the course, you leave you are bought your benefits too. Because companies that got sold out, like Paystack, or companies that started paying some shares like InterSwitch, only people who stay there for long can really benefit. You can imagine a junior engineer stay in the company for 4 years and suddenly you're seeing millions in your account. How much would you have to work to get there? Right. So believe in having a stake of whatever companies that you believe in or going your course. That's a smarter way to think. So I'll say that to my younger self. I lost a lot of money because I didn't understand this earlier. So I can go on and on. Be very mindful of the friends you keep. Not necessarily because friends are bad, or if you don't have friends that are heading your direction, you can be distracted along the way, or you can be enthroned king when you're not right. So for some people, all they know how to do is basic HTML because they're surrounded by people who have no idea what HTML is. Oh, they hail you so much, and you don't know how far away you are from your But if you're around top-notch engineers, they will jerk you and make you feel like, no, you need to come up. You need to, they will challenge you, and that will be very healthy for your growth. Wow. I can go on.
Yeah, sure, you can. You can't really. The floor is yours. Okay. Okay.
I wanted to say that another very critical part people miss is humility. Humility doesn't necessarily mean you are saying sad to everybody you see. Humility means you understand where you currently are. You understand people who can help you, can make you grow, can explain things to you, and you don't allow ego to get in the way. It could be ladies, it could be guys. So if I see, for example, Chisom on the call, she is very good at X and Y. But ego will mean if I go and talk to her now, she think I'm toasting her. That's your mind. Deal with your mind, right? Talk to her. Let her tell you I don't have time, or and don't be sad. Nobody owes you anything. You're not born alongside one person to be your teacher. So if the person says I don't have your time, brace it up and go somebody else. So people need to be very humble. The planet is all puffed up, so everybody wants to brag about what they don't have or what they don't know. So, but you don't take that part. Ask people, your colleague or somebody that you've been friends with for a long time, be very open to asking them, oh, guy, I don't know, I don't savvy maths, or I don't savvy what to call algorithm, and let the person show you, right? And you can benefit so much from the metrics of people around you. So what I do is I have a list of things that I don't know or I'm not very good at. Then I have a mapping of people that can help me in those particular areas. Then I approach them. Definitely, I try to work with their time. So what time are you free this month to help me with this particular? Somebody is more likely to tell you rather than I want you now. You have to respect people's time. Yeah. So you don't let them work with your time. Be very flexible, give them heads up. Then before you know it, very specific things will be ticked off the list and you are better off. I think people need to leverage on the wealth of resources in terms of people that they have around them. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much for that, sir. Well, that was a lot. I mean, and if I picked something very important for that too is the equity part, like very essential. I mean, you can only increase your wages for so long, and then you can only work for so long. You need something to, be able to replicate itself for you. Thank you very much for that. Okay, I'm pleased. If you have any questions for Mr. Olaolu, you kindly raise your hand. I'll call on you, or you can leave a comment and I'll read out your questions so that he will do justice to them. So moving on, so I'd like to ask, so what like the biggest challenge you say you faced and what did you learn from it so far in your journey?
Aside the equity challenge, Abby.
Okay, yeah.
Then number two will be nobody cares about the good excuses you have. Okay, like nobody cares. When I say nobody cares, I mean a lot of people have excellent, fantastic excuses that they've held on to for a long time, and the industry doesn't really care about those excuses. They could be you didn't come from a very wealthy background, so you didn't start your journey on time. Nobody cares. You didn't study computer science, and that's why you are underperforming. Nobody cares. Like whatever good excuse you have that you are using to hold yourself back, nobody really cares. The industry just wants somebody who can deliver. And once you prove yourself, we have people who have crossed. I've taught somebody for a year before, and the person was better than he started. And this is somebody with zero experience in the program. And he was able to leverage on the knowledge so much. So I would say that nobody really cares if you have good excuses, right? You can eat your good excuse. But try to see things from the point of view of, now that I know this reality, what can I do? It just means that if you were not privileged to have been guided into software engineering science, either because your parents didn't believe in it or probably your school, they gave you Yoruba and that's all you have, you just need to know that you double up on your efforts. So when other people are taking it easy, you had Yoruba, so you have to, go harder. So that's the mindset people should have. Leverage on whatever place or whatever you have in terms of resources, and you can get to your destination faster.
Well, thank you very much, sir. Okay, I can see someone has a question. Mr. Alas Imokai. Okay, you can go on your question, sir.
Thank you so much. We learned quite a lot for a very short time from Olaolu. Thank you so much. I want to ask, there's one problem junior engineers face, and that is requirements for job applications. Like many a time you see these jobs saying they need 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, number of experiences. And if you want to start off your career and you can deliver, but because of the number of the requirements, you're just there. How do you overcome this challenge?
Yes, it's industry-wide. Very brilliant question, the last. And I'll say it's sad that that's the reality or scheme of things, because with junior engineers, the running cost and the maintenance could be higher. I'm talking from general point of view, and I'm not taking any side because I was once a junior engineer. But there is something I can tell you: if you are a junior engineer and you prove yourself, you pay the price, people come looking for you. At Chaka, we do have some junior engineers that came with practically zero experience. And during the interview, all I just want to be sure is whatever you are doing currently, if you're a student and you are an engineer, I will ask you engineering question. And if you can't prove that you're not coming in, because if based on what you're currently doing, you're not paying attention, there's no guarantee that you turn a new leaf. So I'm saying that junior engineers are not probably in whatever field you just started HTML. During the interview process, people pay attention to, are you paying the price? So are you just staying in the level of immaturity? Are you pushing yourself beyond boundaries? So people tell me things like, I've taken this course, I'm currently trying on this open source project. I'm not there yet, but it's something I'm really very passionate about. Once you tell people your quest and your hunger to grow, I think people pay attention. More doors will open. But we have junior engineers who the only thing they have is one NIC certificate that they have learned Excel, and you want somebody to invest all the time and commit infrastructure in your hand. Not quite, especially seeing that COVID has ravaged the planet. A lot of people are trying to stay profitable. So it will not be very good for a lot of employees to take on plenty. And that's why I was so passionate to hear about Decagon and see what you guys are doing, investing in people, training them, and making them employable. Because if you don't do that, who else will? Not plenty companies can take on the debt of junior engineers. And again, junior engineers, take your eyes off the money. A lot of you with little experience are calling figures. And how will you take money and come and learn at the same time? It does not make sense. So if a junior engineer really is passionate about learning, if you tell the company, see, I'm willing to work for X and Y, I'm not really bothered about the pay, I just want to grow. People are more receptive, and definitely companies will pay you some basic stipends, but don't be so fixated on this figure and all that. Don't forget you don't have experience and you still have to prove yourself. So I would say be more open to freelancing, be more open to open source, more open to learning systematically and challenging yourself. Have your record to be that you have tried out so many things all by yourself. Really very important way to sell yourself, especially as a junior engineer. A lot of companies do like them, but you must be passionate. You must show that you add value as soon as you join, or you will grow very fast. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Thank you for that. So Elias, I know your questions was well answered. So thank you, sir, for that. I also have a question. Yeah, it's okay. No, but this is a personal question. So okay, I'm feeling since I'm the uncle. Let me. Yeah. Okay. So I'm in the company startup. And yes, I offered to be a shareholder. And then they're willing to give off just 3% equity to me. And the nature of the technology, it's really going to be mobile based. I'm being a mobile engineer, okay. So I'm going to be handling a huge crux of the responsibilities and the whole technology. So I don't know, what do you think? I mean, as a senior boss here in the industry, do you think a 3% equity with all that responsibility is commensurate?
So I will speak from the owner's perspective this time around, and also I will take your side. I will not okay. But from the owner's perspective, I think a lot of companies should do more justice being transparent about what's happening in the company, right? Because if you present things in a facade way, it will be very, very difficult for people to see the truth. I'll give you an example. Back then at InterSwitch, Mitchell would present to us what's happening in the company, things that would happen to you if you meet your targets and your goals, the things that will happen to the company in terms of where we'll be and things we'll be able to do, right? So people can directly own their growth and own their benefits, because if I hit this target, this will happen to me. You also, when you don't hit it, the company doesn't hit theirs, and these are not in a very good place. So if people are very open to why 3% is what we are offering you, because we have to raise, and when we raise, we have to also sell out some part of the company to those people, venture capitalists, and it will be more balanced, because in your mind, if you just see somebody's holding 50-something% of the company and they're giving me 2.5, I don't like it. It's not balanced. But if the person also is very fair to say, when we're selling out of this company, I'm going to take out of mine. So you take 10% out of yours too. I learned your company just raised about 1.5 with $12 million, which is very great. I'm sure that money will come from somebody's equity, whether it was round robin of, okay, we take from this, and we use, because people will buy part of the company. So it depends on what the formula really is. But I really will say the company must have record of being honest. The company must be very open with what's happening, so that there are no assumptions, because junior developers, especially when they hear that the company charged 25 million for a particular project, the eye will open. And they'll forget the fact that there is a running cost. We need to pay for subscriptions. We need to pay people's salary. And if we don't get this kind of offerings in the next 2-3 years, the company needs to run. People don't think about that. They just think of the big 25 million. So I would say the company needs to be more open with how they carry the employees along. I'm not saying be say everything, but let them know that
Thank you very much. Jose, yeah, thank you very much for that. Sorry, my network.
No problem at all. So there are some questions on the chat here. You want to read them out, or you want me to take them on?
Okay, sorry about that. My network threw me off initially. So sorry about that. Yeah. So I got all of that. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay. So I'll go straight to the questions here I have in the chat. Okay. So Mr. Casey is asking on flexibility. What is the junior developer? When is the junior developer ripe to try other things? Is it not better to be good in one before trying out other aspects of software engineering?
Okay, I'll ask Mr. Casey a rhetorical question. I don't know which of the favorite phone you are using right now, or your phone. Some people like Samsung, some people like Apple, but I'll tell you that you only like them because they were presented to you. If you were to go back to when we were still using Sendo, for people who use Sendo, people who use 6600 Symbian phones, there was no thought of iPhone. So if I asked you what your favorite phone, nobody would mention iPhone because it was out of the realm of possibility. It wasn't presented to us. So what I'm saying right now is that you liked iPhone because it was presented to you. So if you had built 10s on 6600 or Touchlight phone, that's where you would be. And today you would not realize that you have grown to like other things that has more capability, more functionality, things that are more like you. Okay, so the same thing happens with the software engineering. I'm not saying this scattered, but I'm saying be very flexible. Flexibility would mean I know quite a number of language, but I have my preference, the things that I will do naturally. And I'll let you know, because as a head of engineering, you make very tough choices. When we were building some of the core infrastructure at Chaka, I was in between choosing .NET or using Spring, Java Spring, and also with database, quite a number of databases come to mind. So this was not even a question of capability. This was a question of which one do I go with? And there were some other things that I'm sure you did not think about as you would think about as junior engineers. There'll be things like affordability. How affordable is this particular stack? For example, now if we want to hire, how available can we get this particular? If we're going to use Elix or Elixir, you use some very weird technologies that probably are almost deprecated. It will be very hard for you to source engineers to work with you. So you will be the one to manage that. And it's very dangerous to build around one particular person, even if the person is excellent, right? So because of availability of developers or how affordable it is to manage infrastructure, management will you be paying licenses to maintain the whatever infrastructure? I know with some databases is not free. If you want to go with Oracle, for example, you have to pay license. So those things, I'm sure it's not in your fore when you are deciding to choose technology for a particular, especially for enterprise project. So a lot of things goes into the play. You don't just focus on the things that you're comfortable with, because then you'll be the only person calling the shot, and you'll be spending a lot of money to maintaining the infrastructure. So I would say that's why I'm very flexible. I'll give you a true life story. When Xamarin started, I was so passionate because I didn't want to start development in Java. I'd already done Symbian. I've done G2ME for people who know those Nokia phone those days, the download .jar file or .gad. I used to do all the stuff. So now there is time for me to develop mobile, and there was Xamarin. Since I spent some years with .NET, I just said, oh, let me stay within .NET. I don't want to try Android. That's another learning curve. But the license was about, then it hadn't been purchased by Microsoft. The license was almost $2,000. If somebody will pay me $2,000 to learn Java, wouldn't I say yes to it? So I supposed to pay $2,000 for a license. I decided to go back to Java because Java is something I'd done a long time ago. And I burnt the candle, learned, appreciated Java. And that's how I started creating applications in Java. Then there was no Android Studio. So you can imagine the hassle of downloading this NDK, connecting to this, and blah, 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 to just make Eclipse work. So I'll tell you, be very flexible. And don't forget, I would have stayed with my .NET, but because I looked at the license of $2,000 and I don't have, and this is me trying to build a project of maybe 80,000 naira freelance work, I decided to be flexible and take on something else. So doesn't mean that today I am a core mobile app developer. I still have apps on the store, but I would stay more in my comfort zone, but I'm still very open to some other things that I've tried along the way. I have done quality assurance and I still write a lot of automation scripts right now. So I did that because at some point, quality assurance engineer was always saying, all my test cases are failing. And I was wondering, this is not failing on my bugs, but I can't connect my bugs to production. So I said, let me even see what exactly is failing in this thing. So I took on I went to Pluralsight. That's why I said, invest in yourself, learn. I took a lot of courses on automation testing. Then it was Selenium WebDriver, was Selenium and all that kind of stuff. And I started writing tests myself. Then when I finish writing the code, I write my unit test and I write my automation script and check it in. You can't tell me it's not working. So that's what I mean, be flexible, because situation will will push you to the point where the only way to survive is to wear a new hat.
Yeah.
But you would have a core area of strength, actually. That's what I mean. Yeah. I'm sorry it took a while. I hope you
Thank you. No, thank you very much. We really appreciate you going in depth and explaining all that to us. Thank you very much. So I'm going on to the next question. Okay, still on the equity question. So read one is asking, it's saying for companies that don't explicitly offer equity as compensation, how might you go about getting them to not just have the conversation with you, but also agree to give you some equity?
Excellent question too. Not everybody is open to that equity because some of them feel that if you take part of the company, then you have more authority, you have more say. So it's okay if companies are not open to giving you equities. That's why I said you must understand what exactly do you want. In fact, something we're bad at, and thankfully you guys are more junior, you'll be able to correct these mistakes sometimes. We go into employment without any goal. I can understand when you go into, in fact, when you go into school, whether you have a goal or not, the final destination is your BSc or your MSc or whatever C or your MA. Like the goal is very clear. Either you do that consciously or not. At worst, you just spend more time, but the goal is very clear. But with engineers or with people in development, to just take on the new employment, how long do you have to work? Nobody knows. Which kind of company fits you? Nobody knows. Which kind of things that's just obscure because you are looking for employment. But I'll say take a time out to ask yourself what is more in line, what we want to be in the next 5 years, 10 years, what is more in line with your passion, your personality. If, for example, you are a data person and you find yourself in a company where they are looking for software engineer, the backend engineer, and you know that's not you. That's why I said be flexible, because you need to work. Because without work, you won't be in a position to say, I want to practice data, right? We have some junior engineers doing interviews said, oh, I'm a data scientist, data analyst. I said, no problem. I would encourage you to be open, but no, you stay in your data. Then after 6 months, he came back to me and said, sir, I don't know if I can join. Oh, you are doing your data, quite all right. But for the first time, you are realizing that even the data you are managing will not be meaningful if the source producing it is not well shaped. So like be open to what you want to be or what you learn. I know at the end of the day, I will still be teaching. Either I'm teaching chemistry, biology, or I'm teaching. I will do that. Okay, right now to get there, I need to get my hands dirty, build infrastructure, right? Because I don't want to do that and still be hungry. So have your passion, have your bend or your drive, the things that make you happy, the things that will make you look forward to going to work, because it makes no sense you're unhappy every other day. It makes no sense.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, thank you very much, sir, for that answer. Okay, so I'm going on over to the next question. Okay, it says, so what Josh is asking, what's the business impact of getting the first SEC license in fintech?
Yeah, so thank you very much, Josh. I'd say the regulators are very, very friendly, but probably sometimes they come out harsh. It could come out harsh, but they are actually very friendly, because don't forget, people invest a lot of billions, and getting the license will mean that you've proven that people's money is safe with you, right? Because without regulators, the game will really be very messy. We have shady people who come. I think it was this year, early this year or so, where some guys stole billions of dollars in the name of crypto. So without regulators, at least those kind of things would have been checked. So I believe being the first in the game shows and reaffirms Chaka's commitment to building infrastructure that is, compliant, that is secured, and that, big businesses can feel very comfortable to put their nest in. So I think it was a very good one for Chaka, being the first in the industry.
Okay, yeah, sorry, I was muted. Thank you very much for that. Okay, thank you for the answer. So I'll move on to the next question. Okay, so Anita is asking, so you mentioned that you were able to get to your current level quicker than most. What were the factors that helped you achieve this in so little time, and how were you able to streamline your learning process?
Yeah, so why I said quicker doesn't mean in terms of years of experience. It was more when I realized that I was just drifting and picking myself back up, right? Because I would probably give the story. Let me hope that it will be a short one. So I was working like every other person, earning my salary, doing normal work, being a good boy. And suddenly I tried to, for the first time, extrapolate what it meant to remain in that role, in that particular salary, with that experience for a period of time. That would mean whatever you're earning right now, whatever you're doing right now, imagine how long do you have to do it to be able to attain to X and Y. And for example, then I think I was earning 150,000 there, or I can't remember, it was around 100 and something. So I said to myself, and I'm not like every other person who is very frivolous and very shrewd with my money. And I said to myself, if I keep saving 50,000 there, at the end of the year, how much will I have? As in, this is very disciplined. You forget the commute costs, upkeep, and all that kind of stuff. Say 50,000 at the end of the year, how much will I have? That's just 50 times 12. That's roughly, say, 600,000 there. How long do I have to work to convert that to something tangible, like 600,000 times? How many years? So I have to work 6 years to get to how much? 3.6. 6 years to buy a Tokumbo car. Like, I just, for the first time, it was like a moment of improving. Life just broke. This doesn't make sense. I can't. This is not sustainable. I can't work if I work 6 years to buy a Tokumbo car, then I can never build a house. I started asking myself the question, how do I live from here to there? But then, like every other junior engineers, I had plenty excuses. There was no time. I was commuting. I had to wake up 4 a.m. and get to the office early enough. If not, I'll be in traffic. I'll be late for work. So there was really no time to develop myself until I started looking at, okay, where do I really spend? How do I exert my energy during work? And how can I convert some free time to, don't forget that at least I'm coming from the reality of poverty, right? That after 6 years, I'm barely able to do anything. So this was a different ball game of somebody convincing you to learn or no learn. So I drafted out some things I needed to learn, how long it would take me to learn them, or where can I get the learning, where can I learn them from, people I can leverage on. So I started like that, and before I knew it, I would read in traffic.
Wow.
I work on time, and I know that the free time I have is not to gist or faff, is to convert them to productive time to cover up the syllabus or things that I'm supposed to do. And things that if I do meet up with them, there were punishment or sanctions like, oh, no Christmas thingy for you this week. So like, and you enjoy naturally, you're not getting it. Eventually, I was able to, within the space of 2 years, double up, and I got my first car then. And I can remember I still kept on the discipline because I would say to myself, oh, you didn't finish your quota of work last week, no driving for you this week. And I'll be at the bus stop waiting for bus. Yes,
Wow.
because I did not, because if I don't do that to myself, nobody will, but the future will. And I don't want the future to be very harsh on me. So I'd rather take that very strict measure. So either I would not buy the phone I'm supposed to buy when I'm supposed to buy because I didn't finish on time, or the benefits I'm supposed to enjoy, I would not deprive myself those benefits because I didn't finish them on time. So that, and today I'm happy. I do.
Wow.
But nobody's going to beat you, so you can enjoy yourself, sleep all night, wake up when you like, stay on Facebook, stay on Twitter. Nobody grows that way, actually.
Wow. Thank you very much for that. That's a lot of discipline, I must say. And it's a lot, sir. Wow. Okay, thank you, sir. So I'll move on to the next question. It says, how would you advise a junior developer that has idea of tech startup as you?
Okay, I would say number one, you have no idea. I'll say it in a different way. I'm not downplaying your idea. Some people are very brilliant, right? From the word get-go. But I would say beyond your brilliance, beyond the product you can create in your sitting room, there are other things you need to learn. Things will be relational skills, how to relate with people. You need it. If you don't have it, it will be trouble for you. Right? Then also you need to learn how system skills, because you can't stay in the box of your brain thinking you got it all figured out. You need to see how people who have figured things out before and executed, how do they do it? So that there's a learning curve that you cannot run, you cannot jump, and the only way you can cut the whole cost short is to join a company and learn. So I'm not saying you throw your ideas away, keep them burning, find a way to call them, let them be a side gig, and find something that would allow you grow. And not, in fact, some people at the end of the day, they realize that all the things that they thought was novel idea, I'll be the first in the market, they've already been done. But I'd say don't be discouraged, but you need experience to be able to stand strong, right? You might be lucky, you can leverage on your uncles and aunties that have gone before you, right? So I'm not discouraging you, but it's not the very easy road, right? So you must be willing to fail all by yourself. So you can fail many times, and that's okay by you. But if you can be lucky, you create a product everybody likes, you're able to meet some legal people to ensure nobody takes advantage of you. You have no idea how equity works, and before you know it, somebody signs equity and you have 2% of the company you built. So like you have to just learn. Like there are so many things to learn, and people will just think it's all about coding. I can tell you, sometimes companies 10% about coding, and the 90% about the business, and regulators, for example, will just clamp you down, all your brilliant ideas out of the windows.
That's true, sir.
Yeah, there's a lot to it. Don't be so boxed into the coding side.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir, for that. So in as much as we're also thinking about the codes, we should also think about the business side of it. Okay, that was well answered, sir. Thank you very much.
Because I know some people on this call now, they are saying Decagon. I'm going to beat my own Decagon. Okay. I've been teaching for 15 years. So I know, and I appreciate when people do things like Decagon. I know what it means. I know it's not very easy. It's okay if you try it out.
Very, very true, sir. Very true, sir. Okay, yeah. So another question, sir. Okay, 1 moment, let me try. Okay, so I want to ask, what should mentees focus on as they journey through tech? So to rephrase that, I would say, as a senior guy, I know you've had a lot of mentees under your mentorship. So how
Yes.
should we approach mentors for a lot of us who may not really know how to go about it? Like, what should we focus on? How do we approach our mentors?
This is an excellent question. And I would say that number one, I was, along the way, I had a very rough love or tough love kind of mentee and mentor, sorry, and it wasn't very easy for me. It discouraged me at some point. So I would say that understand the person that you're mentoring very, very, very well. Some people, and I would say this because part of my style of leadership right now would stem from the experience I've grown with. Then also my own father. My father is a very tough person. He's a very tough person. So, but I understand the intent of what he's trying to do. So I don't, see the other side of the toughness. So I would say it's very, very important to know what works for people. Some people, positive reinforcement works. Some other people, reward works. Some other people, tough love works. And you don't use the same measure for everybody, right? Some people just want to see that encouragement. Oh, you're almost there. Don't let them, they are aware that you're not there yet. So don't stack up all the complaints, all the shortcomings and put it on their face. It's very discouraging. But don't forget, this software journey is a very tough one, and not many people will thrive, right? So you must understand if this place is not for you, so that you don't burn and waste a lot of time. Find your own. Software is very vast. Some people can be project managers and you're doing very well. You don't have to be coder. Not everybody will write this code team, right? So you see, people, project managers make a lot of money. Quality assurance personnel makes a lot of money. So there are plenty of things you can do. DevOps, there was a guy who was very brilliant, but it was in the coding section, and because he wasn't doing too well, but thankfully the head of engineering was able to spot that this guy is good somewhere else, not just programming. So he was put in the DevOps, and the guy built the first cloud system in the country. So I would say that we are all unique and we all have different areas of strength. Some people want to be coding. Some people have not discovered what they want to do, but this wave of coding and programming, they just want to be inside. So it's the role of the mentor to spot and understand people's strength. So after time, you don't just be about forcing people to learn things a certain way. Allow them to make their mistakes, right? And be there to catch them when they fall. Right, the way I train people sometimes, or the way we run Chaka is, you want to try this, go ahead and try it. Even though I know it's not going to work, I will try to make sure that you have that space of, I can do this, I can try, I can take initiative, and you're not bullying people and say, can't, and suddenly people just are listening to everything, like my friend would say, organ-driven development. Anything organ wants. So allow very free, let them make mistakes. They will learn from it, they will grow, and that's the only way you will have them back. So I would, very important, I think mentors need to do better at understanding the people that they're mentoring so that you can actually create, the job is to not teach them, to create an enabling environment for them to flourish. And like I said, if you uproot or pluck off every plant because you don't feel it is doing well, nothing will grow, right? Sometimes all you need to do is, am I adding enough manure? Am I adding enough water? Think of the atmospherics that will make people flourish. And by default, they would flourish.
Wow, that sounds really enlightening, sir. Thank you very much for that. Thank you very much, sir. Okay. Oh, wow. We've really consumed a lot of time. Okay, I was taking out the time here. Okay, so I would like to go over one other question. Okay, sir. So I would like to ask, what's the future of the Nigerian tech space like? I mean, should we focus more on, okay, let's be patient with this. We know the grass seems to be green now on the other side. So should we focus all our energy on migrating to the other side? Or is there hope, or should we just be hopeful that someday there will be that balance?
This question is still weird. I would say, I will be very honest, like I'm not in support of people suffering at all. I don't like it. And I'm also not in support of people, like I said, don't just follow the flow. Quite a number of people that say, Olaolu, Canada is the way, and I ask them, so what do you want to do when you get to Canada? I will make it. And I ask ask them what does making it means? What does making it means? And some of them, do you realize that you see how to get married as a lady? Do you have somebody you're going to get married to? Or do you plan? You have to figure out a lot of things and don't just jump at opportunities. And I would say I want everybody, like I said, to be successful. If flying abroad will give you joy, please fly. But for entrepreneurs, we have been building the space for a while, and a lot of people will join us to build. And when we get tired of building, we too will go and see what's on the other side if we like. Sure. Whatever works for you as an individual, right? It's not a rule. I know it's been very tough because we don't have a lot of people like Decagon helping people to grow. A lot of people that develop are self-made, or they're lucky to have studied something or paid the price. So somehow the story of or the journey of developers in this country has been funny, right? People just have to pay the price in a weird way. Unlike somebody who went to MIT, somebody went to Stanford, and before you left school, you already understand infrastructures. So I would say we will keep building things that will help you. Decagon is doing fantastic work. Many companies to allow young people to come and thrive. Other people are creating workshops. Whatever the system is, you find yourself, try to see if you can grow, try to encourage talents. It's a win-win for us if people can't get job here and suddenly they are getting out there. FX is playing on everybody, meaning if your company is paying 200,000, suddenly they are offering your staff $5,000 per month. The person's father, will you still go and take 200? So it's a dichotomy. We want people to flourish and excel, but at the same time, we want to make sure if you are not able to fly, at least you have something to do here. So it's a win-win for everybody. After all, some of us are coming to buy part of our equity here, or come to buy. So it's a win-win for all of us, actually.
Yeah, that's true. So thank you very, very much for your time, sir. Okay, so we've clearly really spent a lot of time. So this one we have just one-on-one this session. And so sir, we thank you for your time, and honestly, you've really done a lot. So but before I will call on my colleague Mr. Wilson and RMC to do both of things shortly. But before then, I would like to ask for someone like me who would really want to get in touch. I don't know. Am I free to can reach you up on LinkedIn? Could you just
you are free to. I'm very, even though I'm very super busy, but at least I do make out time for things that I'm passionate about.
Oh, okay, sir. So I guess I could reach you via handle Mr. Olaolu Ajose. So okay,
yes.
No problem. So for anyone who wants to reach Mr. Olaolu for LinkedIn. Okay, so feel free to do that. Okay, so Mr. Wilson, I guess you're on the call. Could you kindly take it off from here and give us a bit of thanks? Thank you.
Wow, what an awesome section we have had. Thanks again, Mr. Olaolu. If I've learned something personal, I would say it's the same. You own your growth. Make sure you have strict measures and policies to maintain and measure that growth. I think that's something I've taken from the lesson. I really appreciate you taking out your time. We know you're busy. It's been awesome. It's been awesome to see people like you high up there giving out this time to make us avoid some potholes which you have seen over your long and successful journey in this industry. We really appreciate it. And on behalf of all the Deca devs, I want to say a big thank you. And hopefully we'll reach out to you and continue to see your light shine as we grow in the industry, sir. Thanks again, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so thank you, Mr. Wilson, for that. So thank you for everyone for joining in on this session. And special thanks to you, sir, Mr. Olaolu, because really, if we were to pay for this time, we'll be paying in pounds. I'm very sure of that. So we thank you for giving us this free time to really educate us and enlighten us a lot. So we have come to the end of this session, and so thank you guys for your time, and it's a goodbye for now till we meet this up again. Thank you guys for joining.
Awesome. Thanks everyone, and have a great day now.
You too, sir. Have a great day, everyone.